Getting out of debt and achieving financial freedom is not impossible, but it requires dedication, discipline, and consistent actions. The first essential step in this journey is recognizing and accepting your current situation. Understanding where you are is the starting point for any significant change. If you're in debt, don't feel ashamed. Many people have been through this, and the good news is that you can change your reality. The important thing is to take the first step, admit the situation, and decide that you will take control of your financial life. By recognizing your situation, you'll be able to make informed decisions about what to do next. So, no more procrastination. The first thing you should do is list all your debts. Create a spreadsheet or use a finance app, but have a clear view of the total amount you owe and the associated interest rates. The more transparent you are with yourself, the easier it will be to make the right decisions. Now that you have a clear view of your debts, the next step is to create a budget. Yes, it may seem like a tough task, but it is essential to regain control of your finances. By understanding where your money is going, you can cut unnecessary expenses and prioritize debt repayment. And don't worry, you don't need to be a finance expert to do this. With some simple tools, anyone can organize their budget effectively. One of the most effective ways to create a budget is to follow the 50-30-20 rule. This rule suggests that you divide your monthly income as follows. Media group, close-up of written income breakdown on notepad, person organizing monthly income on computer spreadsheet, add stock, distribute _ equally, 50% for needs, such as rent, utilities, transportation, and food, 30% for wants, things like entertainment, travel, and non-essential purchases, and 20% for savings and debt repayment. Now the key here is to prioritize paying off your debts. Credit card debts, for example, typically have the highest interest rates, so it's crucial to pay those off first. But it's also important not to neglect older debts, as interest accumulation can be even more harmful in the long run. Make a list of your debts and rank them by interest rate, starting with the highest. This way you'll focus on paying what costs the most while avoiding accumulating more debt. If your budget doesn't allow for large payments right away, that's okay. Start with what you can. The most important thing is to stay focused, make consistent efforts to pay off your debts, and never stop adjusting your budget as your situation improves. Now that you have a budget in place and know which debts to prioritize, it's time to talk about practical strategies to pay off your debts faster and more efficiently. There are two approaches you can use, and the choice between them depends on which one motivates you more. The first strategy is called the snowball method. Here's how it works. You start by paying off your smallest debt first. It could be a small loan or a credit card debt with a lower balance. By eliminating this debt, you create a sense of accomplishment, which can be very motivating. With the money you were using to pay off this debt, you then attack the next largest. The advantage of this method is the psychological motivation that comes from visible progress. With each debt eliminated, you feel like you're on the right track. The second strategy is the avalanche method, which focuses on paying off the debts with the highest interest rates first. While you don't get that instant feeling of accomplishment like with the snowball method, you're actually saving more money over time, as the interest on these debts tends to be the most expensive. If your goal is to save more in the long run and you don't mind seeing slower results initially, this might be the best choice for you. Both methods have their merits, and the key is choosing the one that will keep you motivated. It doesn't matter which method you choose. The important thing is to stay committed. Consistency is the key to getting out of debt. So, with these two strategies, you will have a clear action plan to get out of a difficult financial situation and move toward freedom. Now that you have a budget in place and you're using the right strategies to pay off your debt, the next step is to increase your income. Here's the truth. Paying off debt can be a slow process, especially if your only source of income is your salary. What if you could speed up the process? What if you had more money coming in every month so you could pay off your debts faster and at the same time, start building a solid foundation for financial freedom? How can you increase your income? There are several ways to do it. If you're employed, you can start by seeking a promotion or a raise. Often a candid conversation with your boss about your performance and the contributions you've made to the company can result in an increase. Don't be afraid to ask for what you deserve, but don't worry if a promotion isn't an immediate option. The internet offers countless opportunities for extra income. You could start with freelance work in areas like writing, graphic design, consulting, or even driving for ride-sharing services like Uber and Lyft. These options allow you to work in your spare time and increase your earnings. Another idea is to explore selling products or services online. You can sell items you no longer use on platforms like eBay or Etsy, or even start a niche business based on your skills and passions. The key to increasing your income is being proactive. Don't wait for money to fall into your lap. If you can add an additional source of income, you'll be able to pay off your debts much faster and accelerate your journey toward financial freedom. Now that you've started paying off your debts and even increased your income, it's time to think about something very important to ensure you don't fall back into debt in the future: an emergency fund. Many people, when focused on paying off their debts, neglect the emergency fund. They feel that the most important thing is to get rid of the debt, which is true, but having an emergency fund is key to avoiding falling into the same financial traps in the future. Without one, any unexpected event, an unexpected medical bill, car repair, or job loss, could put you back in the debt cycle. The goal of an emergency fund is to cover 3 to 6 months of your essential monthly expenses. If you spend, for example, $2,000 per month on housing, food, and bills, you should have between $6,000 and $12,000 in an easily accessible emergency fund. This doesn't mean you need to do it overnight, but each month set aside a small amount toward your fund until you reach that amount. Where should you keep this money? Ideally, keep it in a separate savings account that is easy to access but not so easy that you'll end up dipping into it at any moment. This fund will give you a safety net, allowing you to handle unforeseen events without needing to resort to credit or loans. Having that financial security will ensure you don't fall back into debt and can maintain the progress you've made in your journey. Now that you're on the right path, paying off your debts, increasing your income, and building an emergency fund, the last step to achieving financial freedom is to stay focused and sustain your progress. This journey doesn't end when you pay off your debts. It's an ongoing process, and the key to long-term success is building good financial habits and staying disciplined. First, it's essential that you regularly review your budget. As your finances improve and you pay off more debt, your financial situation will change. You may have more money available or even find new investment opportunities. Review your budget at least once a month to make sure you're on track and to adjust anything that's not working. Additionally, keep learning about personal finance. The financial world is always changing, and it's important to constantly educate yourself on how to make your money work for you. This includes learning about investments, retirement, and how to protect your wealth. The more you learn, the better equipped you'll be to make smart financial decisions. Another way to stay focused is to celebrate your victories. Every debt paid off, every financial goal achieved is a victory. Don't wait until you've reached full financial freedom to celebrate. By celebrating each step of the process, you'll keep your motivation high and continue your journey with renewed energy. These small victories will remind you of how far you've come and that financial freedom is within reach. And lastly, commit to a long-term mindset. Financial freedom is not something that happens overnight. It takes patience, dedication, and persistence. Remember, true wealth doesn't come from getting rich quickly, but from building a solid and sustainable foundation over time. Stay committed to your path, and soon you'll be celebrating your financial freedom. Now that you know the essential steps to get out of debt and achieve financial freedom, I want to leave you with a message of motivation and confidence. The journey to financial freedom can be challenging, but remember, you have the power to change your life. Every small step you take in the right direction brings you closer to your goal. No matter how difficult it seems now, with discipline, patience, and focus, you can transform your financial life and achieve a future free of debt and full of opportunities. The key to success is not in grand actions or quick solutions, but in the small daily decisions you make. It's about committing to the process, even when the results aren't immediate. The important thing is to keep going, even during tough times, and never give up. With the steps we've discussed, you already have everything you need to begin this journey. Remember that there's no one-size-fits-all solution. Everyone has their own financial situation, but the basic principle is the same. Take control of your finances and make consistent changes. If you follow the steps we've discussed, from recognizing your debt situation, to increasing your income and building an emergency fund, you'll be on the right path to financial freedom. I know the road may seem long, but remember, you are not alone. Millions of people have been through this and have achieved financial freedom. Now it's your turn. Believe in yourself, follow the steps we've discussed, and soon you'll be celebrating your own financial victory. If you liked this video and found these tips useful, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and share it with someone who also needs this motivation. Together, we can achieve a healthier, more prosperous financial life. Let's make it happen.